The decision is that Cristiano Ronaldo is sent off.
Here Messi gets his head up, sees the pass, he sees the pass, it's a goal! Say Mourinho's worst nightmare. Of course he could see the pass. And Ronaldo...
In one of his most beautiful quotes, Pep Guardiola said, "Messi made the impossible look normal because he does it every week. Ronaldo made the normal look impossible because he never stops pushing his limits. That's why they need each other. Without Ronaldo, maybe Messi wouldn't have reached such heights. Without Messi, maybe Ronaldo wouldn't have maintained that passion. They're like fire and light, different but inseparable in football's memory." But this video isn't just about that. It's about Juan Klopp and Pep Guardiola's reactions to Cristiano Ronaldo's comments on Messi. Ronaldo went to Saudi Arabia hoping to dominate and collect titles, yet so far he hasn't won any, leaving him obsessed with numbers and the milestone of 1,000 goals. While he celebrates his own statistics, he mocks the 1,000-plus goals credited to Pelé, insisting that his own goals are more credible because they were captured on camera. Ronaldo leans on individual achievements, even reviewing stats on an iPad to showcase them to the press, while Messi stays focused on the collective. That difference became clear in the MLS, where Messi quickly won titles, broke records, and elevated into Miami's overall level, showing a tangible impact on the team's performance. Messi continues to influence games in a deep, transformative way, whereas Ronaldo, despite scoring, increasingly shows less collective impact at Al Nassr. It's no surprise that social media is buzzing with comments saying Ronaldo is obsessed with Messi's shadow in this final stage of his career. After all, he's constantly giving interviews just to talk about Messi. Before the match between Ireland and Portugal, Ronaldo said he likes being booed because it motivates him to respond on the pitch with decisive goals. He walked onto the field confident, certain he would silence the Irish crowd. But the night turned into a nightmare. Instead of shining, he had such a frustrating game that he ended up arguing with the Irish coach, a humiliating outcome for someone expected to dominate the match. Meanwhile, Messi was dazzling in Angola, warmly welcomed by African fans. Ronaldo, on the other hand, was booed and sent off for aggression in a 2-0 defeat to the Republic of Ireland. The incident caused such a stir that even his most ardent defender, Piers Morgan, quickly commented on the red card, once again dragging Messi into the conversation. He said, "It's ridiculous that Cristiano Ronaldo was sent off for resisting someone who was pulling his shirt. When Messi did exactly the same thing recently, nothing happened," referring to a recent incident involving the Argentine star and an Inter Miami jersey. Morgan also brought up another episode involving Ronaldo and Dara O'Shea from a Portugal-Ireland match in 2021. In that World Cup 2022 qualifier, O'Shea provoked Ronaldo before a penalty that the Portuguese player missed, leading to further accusations of aggression from the Irish defender. Well. It seems Dara O'Shea has formed for deliberately provoking Ronaldo in World Cup qualifiers, then diving like an Olympic swimmer to try to get him sent off. Here's what he did to Cristiano when Ireland played Portugal in 2021. Ronaldo's lawyer tried to justify Cristiano's blatant aggression, but outbursts of frustration on the field are nothing new. Since arriving in Saudi Arabia, he's had frequent moments of irritation and emotional loss of control, revealing the growing pressure he's under at this stage of his career.
The decision is that Cristiano Ronaldo is sent off.
However, Hugo Vasconcelos responded in the Portuguese newspaper, A Bola. What Portugal's captain did was regrettable. And I'm not just talking about the aggression. Losing your temper in a moment of frustration can happen, even if it shouldn't. Ronaldo is 40 years old. In Wednesday's press conference, he made a point of provoking opponents, the Irish coach and the crowd. He created the atmosphere he couldn't handle. But the worst part was his reaction. All that theatrics, the crying, as if the Irish player who got elbowed was faking it, the head gestures, as if he didn't understand what was happening, and the applause to the crowd, as if it was the fans' fault and not his that got him sent off. Ronaldo made a mistake. The least he could do is apologize, but what he really should do is feel ashamed. And if even Martinez brushes off what he did, saying there was no violence, he tried to avoid it and it was unlucky, I don't have much hope. As wrote about Cristiano Ronaldo's embarrassment in Portugal's defeat, noting that Troy Parrott, the Irish forward who scored twice, was much colder and more mature than Ronaldo. The Spanish newspaper Marca listed Ronaldo as one of the negative protagonists of Portugal's loss, suggesting it could jeopardize his participation in the first match of the World Cup. Italian outlet Gazzetta dello Sport didn't hide its surprise at the captain's madness and mistake, saying he shocked everyone by losing in Ireland. In France, RMC Sport highlighted CR7's unpleasant gesture. Without Ronaldo, Portugal thrashed Armenia 9-1 to qualify for the World Cup, and many on social media commented that the Portuguese team plays with more fluidity without him, as younger players take on a bigger role. Amid the debates, Ruben Neves posted the iconic photo of Messi at Camp Nou, writing, "No, CR7 isn't the only GOAT," implying that Messi isn't the GOAT, but rather CR7 is. And here lies the irony. If even Portugal's midfield leader is below the top 5 and doesn't sit at the same table as Pelé, who is João Neves to make such a post? The truth is, no one stands out when compared side by side with Messi. Wayne Rooney stated in a podcast with Rio Ferdinand that he prefers Messi over Cristiano Ronaldo because he appreciates the Argentine style and special touch. Later, asked by Piers Morgan, Ronaldo said he wasn't bothered by his former teammates' opinion, emphasizing that they always had a good professional relationship even if they weren't friends. He said he respects Rooney for what they accomplished together at Manchester United and assured he holds no grudges, adding that if he met him, he'd greet him normally. Many believe all of Ronaldo's frustration stems from Messi. Recently, the world focused on another controversy stirred by Cristiano, who said, "Messi isn't better than me, and I'm not going to be humble." Ronaldo's actions have consistently shown little humility, which frankly isn't surprising. However, figures like Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp were shocked by Ronaldo's statements, in which he sought to assert himself as the GOAT. Pep Guardiola said, "I won't lie, Ronaldo is one of the greatest players in history. A man who doesn't know surrender, with a body built solely for football and a mind that calculates every detail on the path to success. He earned his glory with sweat and discipline beyond belief. But Lionel Messi wasn't a human project who tried to become great. He's a rare case, born great from the moment the ball touched his feet. Ronaldo worked for himself, while Messi made the game work for him. That's the difference between genius and hard work. Both are great, but one was born to be a symbol, and the other worked to become a legend." Guardiola spoke from the perspective of someone who trained Messi daily for many years and had multiple successes with him. In other words, he's the perfect person to speak deeply about the magical Messi because he's seen things in him that the world hasn't. "I saw him every morning at training. He never raised his voice. Didn't talk much, but he made everyone fall silent when he touched the ball. Every training session became an artistic performance. There were moments I forgot I was the coach. I was just there, watching that quiet Argentine boy express himself in a language only football lovers can understand." Guardiola remained thoughtful. "Messi wasn't just a player on my team, he was the mind that read the game before it even began. Sometimes I would design a plan and Messi would do something completely different, but it worked because his mind was seconds ahead of all of us. Those seconds are what separate a good player from a legendary one." When asked about Cristiano's recent comments, Pep said, "Cristiano doesn't need to say anything. He's an extraordinary player. He's scored goals in every stadium, against every team, and lifted trophies in every country. He has nothing left to prove." But when he keeps saying, "I'm not less than Messi," maybe deep down there's a feeling that hasn't fully healed. A sense that the world has given more love to Lionel Messi than to him. He continued with his familiar philosophy. The more someone tries to justify their greatness, the more they lose it. Humility doesn't mean denying your value. It means understanding that others may see things differently, and that the beauty of football isn't measured only in numbers. Messi made children love the game, and Ronaldo made them dream of being like him. Both paths are incredible, but Messi's is simpler, purer, closer to the essence of the art. I've seen strong players, but Messi made strength unnecessary. In modern football, everyone talks about fitness, speed, and stats, but Messi destroyed all that. He's proof that football isn't just a physical race, it's a story of the soul that breathes through the feet. Ronaldo is the example of absolute discipline. Yes, but it depends on constant effort. Messi, on the other hand, has that touch that makes the impossible look easy, even though no one else can do it. He smiled and added, "Sometimes I wondered, how can someone so small dominate the world? Then I remembered, genius doesn't need muscles, it needs infinite imagination." Speaking about the difference in Ballon d'Or titles between the two stars, Guardiola was clear. The Ballon d'Or isn't a measure of absolute truth. It's an award voted on by humans, not a divine judgment. But when you win 8, it's no coincidence. Messi didn't win for being the best in just one season. He won for being the best of an entire generation. Ronaldo has always been the rival who pushed Messi to improve, and vice versa. That's why we should thank them both, because we witnessed the greatest rivalry in sports history. At the end of his speech, Guardiola added, "Ronaldo, you don't need grand words to prove you're great. The whole world has seen it at Real Madrid, Manchester, Juventus, and with Portugal. But sometimes silence says more than any statement. Don't let comparisons steal your inner peace, because history doesn't forget, and fans don't erase what these feet have done. When you look in the mirror, you won't see Lionel Messi. You'll see Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the most disciplined and passionate players in football history. Be yourself. Go against no one, because when the comparison continues, both lose." True greatness doesn't need a podium. It's enough to leave a mark and inspire a generation. Pep Guardiola delivered a masterclass in response to Cristiano Ronaldo's endless comments, where he keeps bringing up Messi provocatively in his speeches. I hope Cristiano watched this video while reviewing his individual stats on his iPad. It's a perfect reminder that constant comparisons to the true GOAT don't elevate you. They just show that you need to recognize your real place outside the top 5. The Guardian noted, Guardiola didn't just defend Messi, he defended the idea that beauty in sport doesn't need to shout to be noticed. In conclusion, Guardiola summed up his philosophy in a single sentence. The world can compare Messi and Ronaldo forever, but for me, football before Messi was one thing, and after him, something completely different. He finished with a soft voice and a smile. I only lived with him for a few years, but he taught me that magic can't be trained. You're born with it. Say what you want. Messi will always be the dream that made football more beautiful. And Ronaldo, the rival who raised the challenge. Both wrote history, but only one wrote the legend.
And Xavi Iniesta could not win because he was a monster there. And Messi, nobody could beat him. It's just Cristiano. Cristiano was a monster, and the father of the monster is Messi. And both, have done something incredible.
Liverpool's legendary coach, Jurgen Klopp, also joined the conversation to respond to Cristiano Ronaldo. I've never seen a player in my life who doesn't make statements or seek attention except Messi. With a single play or a photo, he becomes global news, and the beautiful part is, he earns everyone's respect. There are rumors of a potential final dance for Lionel Messi at Barcelona, with the possibility of a loan return to Catalonia in early 2026. Currently at Inter Miami with a contract until 2028, Messi has ruled out a permanent return, though he secretly visited Camp Nou during renovations. Jordi Cruyff said he doesn't know Messi's plans and emphasized that Messi decides his own destiny, just like his father did. Messi had an incredible 2025 MLS season, scoring 42 goals and winning the Golden Boot while staying focused on the World Cup, his main goal. Barcelona president Joan Laporta avoided speculating about a return, but hinted at the possibility of a friendly match or tribute for Messi, including building a statue outside Camp Nou. Messi scored 672 goals in 778 games for Barcelona, won 10 La Ligas, 4 Champions League titles, and became the most decorated player in the club's history with 46 major trophies. My take on the Messi versus Ronaldo debate is simple. Both are football giants, but Messi's impact goes far beyond numbers. He transforms teams, creates magical moments, and elevates any competition he plays in. Ronaldo, on the other hand, is a physical and goal-scoring phenomenon, but lately seems more focused on on-field aggression and individual stats than the collective. For me, Messi is the greatest of all time. If you love football too, share this video with your community and help spread this discussion. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It helps YouTube know this content is relevant. And leave your opinion in the comments.